If you've ever looked up your home on Zillow and seen a number pop up, that's called a Zestimate. And today I want to talk about what that number actually is and why you should not be making real estate decisions based on it. Hi, I'm Morgan Gonzalez. I'm your luxury real estate expert. And if you're buying, selling, or investing in a unique property, then I am really glad you're here. A Zestimate is an algorithm. Zillow's computer system looks at publicly available data, square footage, lot size, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and it spits out a number. And to be fair, in certain cases, it's not terrible. Tract neighborhoods where you've got 100 homes that are basically identical, the algorithm has a lot of apples to apples comparisons to work with, and it can do okay there. But the moment you step outside of that, custom homes, unique properties, acreage, or rural areas, that's where the cracks start to show. Here's what Zillow cannot factor in. How much of that land is actually usable? Has the home been recently remodeled or is it dated? What's the quality of the build? Does it have solar, a well, a guest house, a pool, an ADU? These are all the things that make a home worth significantly more or less than what a computer can calculate. And the difference isn't small. I've personally seen Zestimates that were off by $1 million, up or down. And I have a perfect personal example for you. Just a few months ago, I was working on purchasing an investment property for my personal portfolio. This was a custom home that was genuinely difficult to price because there simply was nothing else like it in the area. No real comps. The listing agent, who was an expert in that local market, could not provide me with any supporting data for their list price, nothing. They had it listed for $755,000. I offered $650,000. But here's where it really gets interesting. In our negotiations, the listing agent brought up the Zillow Zestimate multiple times. First, she used the Zestimate as part of her justification on how they priced it in the first place. And then while we were negotiating, she pointed to a Zillow price range and asked if I could at least come up to $681,000 because that was the low end of what Zillow estimated. My answer was absolutely not. No. A Zestimate is not a fact. I am not using that to determine value. We ultimately negotiated down to a purchase price of $675,000. So that was below Zillow's low range that she kept pointing to. So much for the algorithm. But during inspections, it became clear to me that the property needed even more work than I had anticipated, enough that it just no longer made sense for me as an investment. So we killed the deal. They went back on the market and dropped their list price to $699,000. And the moment that happened, the Zestimate changed. The same home, the same algorithm, a completely different number because the seller changed their asking price. The new Zestimate low range, $647,000, down from the $681,000 that she had used as a negotiating tool against me just weeks before. That is not a valuation. That's a mirror. The algorithm was just reflecting whatever the seller decided to ask for the property. Oh, and one more thing. I also asked this agent, in her professional opinion, what this home could rent for on a long-term basis. Her expert answer, $3,000 to $3,500 a month. But Zillow's rent estimate was over $4,000. So I have to ask, if we're using Zillow to justify the sale price, why aren't we using it to justify the rent price? The answer, of course, is that it's not an exact science. You can't selectively trust an algorithm when it helps you and then ignore it when it doesn't. So here's the moral of the story. If you have a unique home, a custom build, an older estate, a property with land or special amenities, take Zillow, Redfin, and any other automated estimate with a serious grain of salt. It can be a starting point for a conversation, but finding the true value of your home, that takes a real expert. Someone who can physically walk the property, understand the details, and knows the market. That's what we do at Morgan Group Real Estate. If you're thinking about buying or selling and you want an honest, accurate picture of what your property is worth, reach out to us. We'd love to help. My name is Morgan Gonzalez, and I look forward to talking to you soon.